Welcome to our episode of Intentional Impact. This is the Leadership-Unfiltered series where we intentionally talk about leadership, real challenges, and real solutions. I am your host, Nelson Render. Does bias impact your leadership? Have you ever took a moment to think about biases? Well, today's reflection is inspired by two incredibly insightful resources that have reshaped how I think about leadership decision-making. The first is the book, The New Psychology of Leadership, Identity, Influence, and Power by Haslam, Riker, and Plateau. The second resource is a series of instructional videos from the course, Psychological Aspects of Leadership. Together, they offer a powerful lens on how our brains, emotions, and cognitive biases silently but powerfully shape how we lead. Now, as educational leaders, we constantly make decisions that ripple through our schools, affecting students, teachers, and communities. But what if I told you that many of these decisions are influenced less by facts and more by how our brain tries to save energy? Let's dive into what that means. One insight that really hit home for me is this. Our brain is an energy hog. Even at rest, it consumes around 20% of the body's energy. Because of that, it often relies on shortcuts called heuristics to help us make fast decisions without draining too much energy. Helpful, yes, but also risky when we're making complex leadership calls. For example, early in my career, I promoted a teacher to a leadership role largely because of how confidently and charismatically they were in the interview. I felt great about the choice, but later, their lack of readiness became clear, and it impacted the team performance. That's what we call affect heuristic, and that's what that looks like. We feel good about someone, and we overlook the warning signs. Since then, I've learned to slow down using structured rubrics, second opinions, and evidence to balance out that emotional pull. Because effective leadership takes both intuition and intention. Another cognitive trap we face is ambiguity aversion, something the psychological aspects of leadership videos explain very, very well. When my district introduced a new literacy framework, many principals hesitated. Even though the data showed many gains in reading and uncertainty about staffing, training, and community reception created hesitation. And that's normal. We fear the unknown. My job became helping others navigate through that ambiguity. We shared the data, hosted pilot school panels, and created space for dialogue. The result? Confidence replaced doubt. And the adoption expanded, and it was accepted. One of the most common biases in leadership is anchoring bias. We lock on to the first piece of information we hear, and we make everything else revolve around it, even when new data emerges. In budget meetings, I've seen this over and over and over again. A school suggested that a $10,000 PD budget early in planning, and from that point forward, everyone walks around with that number, even if we clearly need to have more and it requires more. Now, when we start with the purpose, what are our actual goals, our learning goals? What do we need to reach them? Then and only then do we talk about dollars. Now, let's not forget about the availability heuristic, another concept explored in this course and in the videos. After a highly publicized safety incident in one of our high schools, the district focused heavily on lockdown drills and crisis response. While necessary, we nearly lost sight of the persistent challenges like chronic absenteeism, achievement gaps, because the emotional part of that weight, it weighed on the community, and every single event like that dominated our thinking. By stepping back and grounding our decisions in long-term data and broader trends, we were able to address the crisis and refocus on student success. So, what's the big takeaway here? Leadership isn't just about making decisions. It's about understanding how we make them. Resources like the New Psychology of Leadership and the Psychological Aspects of Leadership course make it clear to us. Our brains are wired to simplify, and our emotions can cloud our judgment. But when we build systems and include structure, reflection, and multiple perspectives, we make better choices for our schools. Being aware of biases like the affect heuristic, ambiguity aversion, anchoring, and availability heuristic doesn't make us weak. It makes us wise. And with that wisdom, that's how we build intentional, effective, and equitable leadership. Hey, thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. Thanks for making sure that you pay attention to what we are doing as education leaders. Keep leading with purpose and with mindfulness. And until next time, stay reflective, stay intentional, and stay impactful. Nelson Render, signing off.